Good morning, junior hockey fans. This is Stephen Heisler with HeisHockey.com, the Victorious Hockey Company, and the Junior Hockey Discussion Group on Facebook. You are watching the Junior Hockey Morning Show. We are on the World Sports Broadcasting Network, WSBN.TV, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Hopefully this morning in your living room, in your office, if you're a coach, in your car, on your telephone, wherever you happen to be watching. Hopefully you are enjoying this incredibly beautiful Monday morning. All right. It was so hot in Orlando yesterday. This is not one of those jokes that you can literally cook an egg on the hood of my wife's car. She parks her black car outside, and it must have been, 250, maybe not. Paint wasn't melting, but it felt like it could. There you go. Today is Monday, August 14, 2023. Today's topic, tell me, we called it what? 5 donkeys? 5 donkeys of the North American Hockey League. If you read this morning's article on HeisHockey.com, I go into a little more detail than what you're going to get today. But nevertheless, I'm sure that this article and show will not be popular with certain owners in the North American Hockey League. Alex Curious has already got his fist balled up, ready to punch me. It's okay. Got to do what you got to do, right? Ever wonder why certain NAHL teams have a difficult time staying on the right track season after season? It's always something, right? Coaches never stick around. Players seek other developmental opportunities. There's always a conflict surrounding that program. Today, I'm going to pass along the list of teams to avoid in 23-24. Full disclosure, this is my opinion. Don't sue me. This is my opinion. I get that straight. Nothing set in stone here. It's an opinion. All right. If you are an owner that is concerned about appearing on this list, clean your house up. You got a mess in your house. Fix it, and you get off the list. Here it is. The 5 donkeys of the North American Hockey League. These are in no particular order. It's not countdown 5 to 1. They're all 5 bad, right? All 5 are teams you should avoid this year. All 5 are places that I would not suggest any of our clients go to. Take that for what it's worth. Danbury hat tricks. It's simple. Until head coach Patrick Steffen can get his team out from under that pro team in the same building, he's never going to have any long-term success in Danbury. It's kind of a joke, right? The FPHL, the Federal Prospects Hockey League, is made up of, let's be realistic, a pile of Tier 3 players, a pile of college club players. Very few players climb the ladder from there to the Southern Professional Hockey League. Even fewer go to the ECHL. It's really a last-ditch effort to call yourself a pro, although they're getting stipend. It's not really professional. It's kind of amateurish. The pay is less than it is in Quebec for the same kind of level of play. But here's what I know. Without any reservation, you put Danbury's Federal Prospects Hockey League team on the ice with the North American Hockey League team, and I'll tell you what's going to happen. Playing by USA Hockey rules, which means the Danbury dummies can't beat the kids up. The kids are going to roll those kids. That pro team will get blown off the ice. They won't be able to keep up. Period. It's a joke. Next, El Paso Rhinos. I'm not much into the concept of karma. Not really my thing as a Christian. But I have to laugh when the continuous stream of bad news comes out of El Paso. From the United States government deciding that the voter station needs to be expanded right after everybody in El Paso voted for Joe Biden. What's Joe Biden do? He's going to tear out the Rhinos rink. That's bad. Next, the savior, Steve Jennings, rolls into town. He's going to save the Rhinos, make him a better outfit, get him better players. He looks around the room. What did I get myself into? And votes for the Air Force Academy. It is apparent that the curse of Karel Romanov continues in El Paso. Maybe if Corey Herman, the owner, smuggles Romanov out of Russia, gets into El Paso, and does some kind of little hokey pokey thing on the middle of the ice, the curse will go away. Tell me, is it true that Joe Coombs really put his name in the hat for a double-A job in Arkansas? Anything to get out of El Paso. Can't say I blame him. Next, the Kenai River Brown Bears. Before diving into the poop fest that is brown bear hockey, I love everything about Alaska's Kenai Peninsula. From Soldotna to Homer to Kenai to Seward, the Kenai Peninsula is Alaska's playground. It's absolutely spectacular. The people are amazing. The seafood's outside the lines. And I have a lot of good friends and even advisory clients on the Kenai Peninsula. But the problem is the one common denominator through years of on-ice ineptness and continuing stream of coaches and failures is Nate Keel. Why? Because Nate comes up with reasons to charge the kids hundreds of dollars for baloney that is completely outside the norm for the NAHL. It used to be outside the standards for Tier 2, but for some reason, Tier 2 standards are nowhere to be found. Not in the USA Hockey Annual Guidebook, not on the NAHL webpage, just gone. Same for Tier 3 standards. We don't need to show anybody what they're supposed to be getting for their money or what they're supposed to be getting at the NAHL level of play. Those days are gone. Kids have had to buy their own rose sweaters in Kenai. That's before having to pay two different families for billet fees, Minnesota and Alaska, and any other shortcuts that the league's worst general manager can come up with. It's horrendous. The only folks that are treated worse than the players themselves are the visiting teams. From some standard hotel rooms to inadequate meals, post-game meals, it's a joke in Kenai. But it's not as bad as the vans. Visiting teams have to use the vans, and one of the vans has a broken side door. The kids have to go through the sliding door, that you have in a van. That's broken. Kids have to go through the front seat, passenger seat, climb over the seat, over the hump to get into the back of the van. What's going to happen if that van gets into an accident? Catches on fire. How are those kids going to get out? Same way they went in? How can that even be legal? Nate Keel. That's criminal. That should be criminal. Ridiculous. Head coach Taylor Shaw is in way over his head and does nothing to shield the players from Keel's baloney. Next, Minnesota Wilderness. Dave Boyce. Somehow this loser sold a big bag of baloney to new owners Barry and Brenda Bowman, and he still has a job. Can't figure it out. Boyce was the head coach when disgraced assistant coach Brendan Phelps was allegedly hosting a beer bash gatherings at his apartment. Hey, there's nothing wrong with grown men going after 16-year-old boys in Minnesota. Perfectly legal. When one player finds himself in bed, allegedly with the assistant coach, before getting bullied about the incident for the rest of the season, somehow Boyce knew nothing about it. Yeah, right. I wonder why the Wilderness can't keep coaches, billet families, sponsors, or even the use of the liquor license. Yeah, the country club pulled that this week. Why is all that going on in Cloquet? I'll give you 4 answers. Boits, 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 and Boits. I honestly feel sorry for the 6th Wilderness coach in the team's 10-year history, new hire Colton Sinclair. Let's hope that Brett Skinner's number, he has Brett Skinner's number on speed dial, because no one has had the success there like Skinner did last year. Very impressed with that. Last team on my list, Northeast Generals. I've considered Brian Erickson a friend. He's the head coach there, owner, president, since the team was founded back in 2016. Heck, my own family and I drove all the way to Boston and saw me did the national anthem for one of their games in 2017. Erickson got mad initially when he took exception to an article I wrote regarding his good friend Ryan Carruthers, who was trying to buy, sort of lease, rent, whatever it was, the Corpus Christi ice rinks. Things got worse when I told Erickson that his general manager, Matt Dipple, was being accused of being inappropriate with players. There you go. Players that were not on the Generals team, but on the Rock City team that plays in the summer leagues or summer programs, Boston Showcase, pre-draft, and all that stuff. And, of course, that's not under USA Hockey's jurisdiction, therefore does not fall under the scope for the Center of Safe Sport. Well, you can pretty much do whatever you want as long as it's not part of Safe Sport, allegedly. Dibble is still involved with that organization, and Erickson told me that he's done with me. I'm done with you. After I told him about these issues, and I refused to recommend that any player go to the Generals as long as Dibble is still involved. That's it. Go figure. There's no one team that's worse than the other. Those are 5 teams. If your son is set to go to those organizations, there's a really cool thing going on in British Columbia. It's called Other Options. Another cool thing out west called the NCDC. I would explore all options before agreeing to stay with any of those 5 teams this year. Until those situations are rectified, it's a no-go. That does it for me today. Hope that you enjoy your morning coffee and have a great day in hockey.